Good evening, folks. Let's call the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting to order on December 21st, 2017, 6 p.m. Before we get on to your case, if you don't mind, we have one little issue that we'd like to clear up and put it to rest, and then we get on with yours, if you don't mind. Okay, it won't take us a minute. At this time, I would ask that the ZBM members introduce themselves from the right to left.
Robert Lehman.
Sean Shoemaker.
Kurt Gleason.
Okay. I would ask if you wouldn't mind, or any audience members, to please sign in on the sign-in sheet so we know who's in attendance. Thank you. What we're going to slide ahead is a reconsideration request. So I need a motion to, if the board so chooses, to reconsider Elijah's Buddha map 045, lot 001677.
I make a motion that we reconsider their appeal.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Mr. Chair, before you vote, I want to throw a couple of things at you. Legally, the applicant can appeal to you unless they have a substantial change in the circumstance for them to appeal or appeal for reconsideration. And that is a Maine state court thing. So, you know, if their circumstances haven't changed, they can't ask for reconsideration for an appeal.
Okay.
So if there is no motion, of course we know there is now. If there is no motion, then the appeal fails. So right now you have an appeal in a second, but I wanted to catch you before you got that far. So that's what the law says. If their circumstances haven't changed, then they can't appeal, or they can't ask for reconsideration. And of course, you don't know that because they're not here discussing anything.
Exactly, so we don't know that
Well, what I
information.
would-
So should we
Yeah,
withdraw our motion
Well, yes, what I would recommend is,
and postpone the reconsideration?
right, you can, the board can discuss it and move the discussion and table the discussion to the next meeting. So you can ask the board, are you interested in seeking a reconsideration? And then table it and move it to the next meeting,
Okay.
at which time the applicant would be present.
I can make my second, change my second to agree with that.
Yeah, you need to
Withdraw the second.
withdraw the second in the motion.
I withdraw the
But
motion.
I wanted to let you know that,
Withdrawing the second.
Withdraw the motion.
okay.
I guess at this time, then I'd say that if someone would like to make a motion to table the reconsideration to our next meeting, then I'd entertain that motion.
I would make a motion to table the appeal request until the next meeting. Reconsideration.
I'll second that.
Okay? All right.
Perfect.
Now, your next meeting has already been advertised and abutters have been notified. It is now set for December 28th.
I will not be here.
Correct, I know that one.
Okay, so we got a motion, we got a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Very good. All right. At this time, I would call the public hearing for a variance setback appeal by Lucian Fischette, tax map 029, lot 027. The purpose of this hearing is to review the variance setback appeal to be considered an undue hardship appeal request due to being in the shoreline zone. Lucian Fischette, map 29, lot 27, 34 East Shore Road, East Waterboro. At this time, the board needs to decide if we have jurisdiction to hear this appeal.
I believe we do.
well?
I believe so also.
I need a motion that, to determine that the ZBA does have jurisdiction over this case.
I'll make a motion that ZBA is jurisdiction.
I second the motion.
Okay? We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Beautiful. At this time, I'd like to ask the applicant or representative to come to the podium and speak and give us your information. Show us the full what you have, please. I'm a little hard of hearing, so anything you can do to help is good.
It's all new to me. Oh, excuse me. Good evening, board members. I have written down ladies and gentlemen, but I'm going to stay with gentlemen. I'd like to thank you for your time out of our busy lives at this time of year to be here tonight to make a decision on this request. And before I go forward, I'd like to wish you all a happy December solstice and also Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Same to you.
Roger, if you can introduce yourself for the record, please.
My name is Roger Lozier, and I represent Mr. and Mrs. Lucian Frechette of East Shore Road in presenting this variance appeal for a garage that they would like to build on their property. I'd like to start with passing out photographs, aerial photos, and And most of the things I'm going to go over here are already in your packet, but I'll just kind of briefly go over them. And I have a couple addendums to add to the justification of variances. So if I may start, a reduced setback variance is requested for reference address due to building permit denial. I'll give you a little bit of background info as submitted to me by Mr. Frechette. A building permit request dated September 1st, 2017 was submitted as Phase 1 of future structure changes envisioned. A 40-foot setback from the front property line was requested for the 16-foot by 20-foot garage versus the 75-foot requirement. Due to, one, the slope of the lot, this change would help in correcting water eroding into the lake, and also constructing a full cellar to improve on the limited space due to the physical size allowed. This would be under the proposed garage. And to allow space where the existing garage now stands to install a septic system. Presently, the two cottages on that lot share the same septic system. Then a 10-foot setback from the side property line was requested due to the fact that the 35-foot requirement is unrealistic on this non-conforming lot and would cause the garage to sit, if allowed, to sit on a shared driveway, causing a hardship to both property owners of the lot. Then a future request, Phase 2, this is a potential project, will be submitted requesting to move the existing cottage 25 feet towards the front property line, which is the nearest the street, to 1, minimize distance to the proposed new septic system, 2, aid in adhering to the new restriction of the 20-foot height requirement due to slope of the land, and number 3, to aid to comply with the proposed foundation requirement not being lower than 100-foot year flood zone mark. And these are the justifications of the variances as presented by Mr. Frechette. The land in question cannot yield a reasonable return unless the variance is granted. As stated above, the 35-foot side property line requirement would cause hardship to both owners sharing a common driveway on the lot. Also, the existing septic system, which is located, Dave, you want to switch those pictures, please? Next one. Roughly where the vehicle sits.
Where's the grass?
What's that?
Where's the grass stuff?
Yeah. Where the grass starts is approximately where the existing septic system is. As I mentioned, one of the future plans is to relocate or move the existing cottage back 25 feet. Since the septic system, the existing system is here, the reason we're requesting to move that garage back 40 feet from the property line is that once all the proper permits and permission is granted to be able to reconstruct this somewhere around here, the area where the garage is will be the area most suitable to be able to install the septic system. Now, if you want to, and that is justified by a letter that I received from Kenny Gardner on October 25th.
Can you describe who Kenny Gardner is?
Yeah, and Kenny Gardner is the soil engineer. He came, he examined the lot, did his borings, and determined that that would be the most appropriate place suitable to install a new septic system. The letter read that you have in your package, I have reviewed the site and the plot plan at 34 East Shore Road, East Waterboro, for the purpose of replacing the septic disposal field. The only area which is 100 feet from Ossipee Lake and 100 feet from the drilled well at the rear of the lot is in the area of existing garage. If the garage is moved, this could be a potential area for a replacement septic field. The wells on the adjacent properties would also have to be considered in the final design of the septic field. If you have any questions, please contact me at the above numbers. I've already made my own site walk and did some measuring, and the abutters wells, one of them I know is definitely 100 feet. The other one is, I think, slightly under, which is the Cody residence, and that, according to Kenny Gardner, can be reduced to 65 feet according to state standards. Granted, the variance can be granted up to 65 feet. And like I said, after taking the measurements of that property, everything falls within the required setback dimensions. Number two, the unique circumstances of the property. The property was purchased in 1997 as two separate lots. If you turn to your map, the plot plan David, can we go to the aerial, please? Thank you. When the property was purchased by the Frechettes, this was two lots with the dividing line just about there. It was a straight line, not a jagged line. Since that time, the property was purchased in 1997 as two separate lots. As a result of a lot being divided into three lots in September of 1919, map 29, lots 28 and 27. Lot 28 was eliminated by the town or the state due to another ordinance change. Due to the size of this non-conforming lot, based on today's requirements, none can be met without a variance. The fact that the lot is long and narrow creates a unique circumstance, making it difficult to fully comply with building codes and ordinances. Number three, the variance will not alter the essential character of the locality. The variance will not alter the character, but will enhance the locality with new structures built to today's building standards and also utilize the property size to its best, while improving the water erosion due to the existing slope of the land. Again, therefore, the variance will not alter the character of the land whatsoever. And number four, the hardship is not the result of action taken by the applicant or prior owner. To date, the unique situation of having two existing cottages and garage on two separate lots have been the same as when purchased in 1997. The prior owner purchased the lot with the structures as they are today, and the previous owners prior to him purchased the property as it is today also as the result of the September 1919 division of properties. Based on all these actions that happened prior to zoning being enacted, has created a substandard lot based on today's zoning requirements, which creates a hardship to modernize structures and utilize the property to its fullest potential. This is sincerely submitted by Mr. Lucian Frechette. And I have add to that the existing garage, which was likely built around 1949-1950, following the fire of 1947, reflects its present condition and needs to be rebuilt. The existing cottages was probably built around the same time. Renovations of the cottage is part of the long-term proposal. These facts are presented, as presented, would contribute to bringing the aforementioned structures into better conformance to building codes and zoning ordinances. Once again, I'd like to thank you for your time and consideration in granting this appeal. And if you have any questions requiring any more aerial photos to be projected, just say so. And I have, I think it's either 8 of these, and then I have photographs taken on land, kind of side elevations.
I would ask any audience members who wish to speak, please come to the podium and identify yourselves prior to speaking.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair,
Anybody here?
just me. Do you have a letter there from Stacy Cody that you might want to read into the record regarding a concern that he has?
Okay, this time, the public hearing's still open, and we have no audience participants that wish to speak. I'm going to read a letter that was received from Stacy Cody, dated Wednesday, December 20th, and it was addressed to the Code Enforcement Office. My name is Stacy Cody, and I am a neighbor to Lucian Frechette. There's a public hearing on Thursday, 21st, 2017 at 6 p.m. I work at a funeral home and may not be able to make the meeting due to calling hours at night. My concerns are that Mr. Lozier called me and discussed where my point is in the location of Lucian's project. Is the building a garage with living quarters and a bathroom? I assume that is why they are measuring and trying to make sure they are 100 feet away. Mr. Lozier mentioned to me on the phone it is safe at 60 feet away, but the rules are 100 feet for a reason. My thought is that our family safety needs to come first with any septic issues, leach fields, wells or points that belong to both of us, and this is an important safety issue for me and my family. Lucian is a friend, and I am hoping to keep it this way. I do not mind him getting a variance, but I'm concerned why we are measuring to get his distance from my point if we're just talking about a garage. Thank you for your time, Stacy and Lori Cody. Okay?
We got a question in the audience.
Mr. Chair?
Looking at this, is this,
Yeah. Mike
letter from
Morse's
Mike?
letter? Yeah. Mr. Lozier also has a question for you. Mr. Lozier has a question.
Okay.
I'd like to make a correction, or at least offer to make a correction on this this letter as presented by Mr. Cody. He makes a mention that the building a garage with living quarters and a bathroom. I assume that's why we are measuring and trying to make sure they are 100 feet away. This is a garage and a bathroom. because the distance of the garage to the main house, someone has time to relieve themselves before getting to the bathroom, so they're proposing a bathroom. Nothing was mentioned about living quarters, so I'd like to hopefully have that
Okay,
made a mention of.
can I expound on that? What you just said? That allowed?
Mr. Chair, the property owner would like permission to speak.
Sure.
Just for clarification.
Yep, no, go ahead.
I-
You're welcome to speak. It's your
Introduce
property.
yourself also.
Lucian Frechette, 34 East Shore Road. I just read, this is the first time I see Mr. Cody's concern, but in reality, he's mistaken because the existing septic tank that we're utilizing is closer to his house than the proposed tank that I wanted to install with the existing garages. So that to me is an error in his part. Also, we're not building any living quarters in the garage. My wife wanted to, she said if we're going to put a tank and we have a full cellar, I could at least having a wash basin for, and utilize a septic tank. And I did not discuss that with Mr. Cody at the time. So just wanted to clarify his comments on the email.
David? Aerial photos, please.
Also like to read into the minutes that Michael Morse from he's DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, right? His response back, because the code enforcement officer is obligated to send them anything that's done in shoreline for their review. Says, thanks for forwarding the application to us. The department has no comment on the application since it does not relate to shoreline zoning standards such as shoreline setback. Lot coverage appears to remain the same, etc. So, the DEP doesn't have any issue with it. I guess at this time, I would ask the code enforcement. Yep.
Oh, that's all.
Go ahead.
I'd like to illustrate and indicate where the present septic system, approximately right there, the distance to the well at the Cody's is approximately there. And that's to justify what Mr. Frechette illustrated, that by moving this garage, probably in this area here, the distance will be increased, which will make a safer location than it is presently. We've tried to, we requested, I think, Mr. Frechette came to the town looking for a septic system design. Nothing was available here. He went to the state, nothing was available. So this location, the tank has been emptied in the past, but as for submitting a design, we weren't able to do that because there's nothing available.
What do you mean by that, Raj? There's nothing available?
I'm sorry?
What do you mean there's nothing available?
The current
There's
design?
no septic plan on record.
I thought you meant there was. Oh, I thought you meant
There's
there's no new plan available. I
There's
was
no
like,
septic plan, no
Okay.
design,
Nothing in
nothing.
the existing conditions in
that's-
place.
Several years ago, I sent a letter to investigate having a drawing of the septic system that was installed by Fred Fay. And I got a letter back saying they had no records at Augusta
okay.
of any submittal. So then I approached Fred Fay, who was alive at the time, this is like 10 years ago. and he gave me a letter saying it's a functional, and it's a 1,000 tank, and I've been using it for 20 years. Yeah. So with the leach field and all that. So
I misunderstood you. I thought you said there was no.
no,
Nothing
this is
available for
nothing.
a
It
new
was never
design.
recorded in Augusta.
Okay.
So do you have an idea where the leach field is?
Yes.
I mean, you know where the tank is, but do you know where the leach field is?
Oh, okay. The tank is here. The leach field is right forward of this tree.
Between the tree and the can?
Right.
It's a small field.
Yeah. At this point.
Still in the chamber.
And it's been fully operational for years. I mean, haven't had any problems. And who do we have it? The Goss, G&S Septic
Yep.
handled it.
And on the new plan, it shows the approximate location of the new septic tank? Oh, that's the current septic
That's where
tank.
the current septic is. They want to be able to relocate it where the new garage, where the old garage is, in that area once they move that.
The
Okay, so
intent is
currently
to
this leach field's here.
separate the buildings and have their own septic tanks. That was my intent. is
Tanks
that-
or fields?
both.
So
This-
that existing tank and field would stay then.
Correct.
Okay.
For the other cottage to use, and you
That-
implement a new one for your facility.
Right. Just so I was trying to
Right.
improve the condition by saying, well, we don't normally share septic tanks to this day, so let's separate and correct that issue as well.
Exactly. Gotcha. Guess at this time, I would ask Glenn, the code enforcement officer, for any of his input that he can give us.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think 16 by 20 is probably about as small as you can make a garage and still be able to utilize it. The only concern I have is getting it to a point where someone could make it habitable. So I would ask the members of the Zoning Board of Appeals to condition the variance, if you approve it, to restrict the garage to storage only, not to be converted to a habitable space, bedroom space. The bathroom I have no issue with, strictly storage for personal belongings and vehicles.
Okay. I guess at this time, I would ask if there's any other information that'd be like to be presented before we close the public hearing.
Well, I guess I'll reverse that question to you. Is there anything you'd like to see? I have more photos, aerial photos. You want Dave to just run through them? It'll show you from the water front all the way to East Shore Road. And I think there's only 8 pictures.
Okay.
And then
At this time, then I would ask if any members on the board would like to ask any questions before we close the public hearing, and we'll go into deliberation.
On the letter from the neighbor, it mentioned the 60 feet away, and when you gave your presentation, I believe you said it was almost 100 feet away.
it'd be closer to 100. And
What does
that came
closer
from
to
Penny.
100 mean? Is that
Closer to 100?
75? Is that 80? Is it 90?
I don't have a scale with me, but the required, and I guess it's, if you look at the plot plan, the survey, where it says proposed 16 by 20 garage, that's definitely more than, if you look at the existing septic tank to where the future potential garage is, well, it doesn't show the neighbor's house on this property, on this map, but it's definitely,
It's further away.
yeah,
You're making,
much more
it's
than,
further away.
much more than the minimum requirement of 60 feet as governed by the DEP.
Is that a conjoined well? You guys share the water source too? Your well water?
Yeah, we installed a brand new well like 5 years ago, 400 feet, and we we split that up as well.
But you do share that.
And that's why we put it at top of the hill, closer to the road, to avoid septic tank issues.
And both camps are connected, but are they the same owners? Do you own both of these?
No,
camps?
there's two couples.
Okay.
It's my wife's sister and bought it with us.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions for anybody before I close the public hearing? All right, I guess at this point, I would, make a motion to close the public hearing.
Seconded.
Discussion? Okay, public hearing is closed. All right.
Could I get a time, please, sir?
Good time.
Time.
Could I get a time?
6:30.
Thank you.
All right.
The vote
Okay.
was 3-0.
So I guess at this time, we're gonna go into deliberation and discussions and, on the request. The board feel. I guess I could start off and give you what I see in here. I think that they're asking to make an improvement to the property. They're not asking to make anything greater than what they have. And they're actually gonna be more, or, other than the setback from the road setback, but side setbacks are gonna be less non-conforming. By moving it, they're gonna be further from the water, and, guess the big question is gonna be the, road setback reduction.
I agree. I'm looking at the shoreline zoning for I think it's 12-3. It's a relocation. Basically, I know we're going to get an issue with the setbacks, but I mean it falls right under the requirements of a relocation. It's basically everything you're asking for is to make it a better, not so much for you. Oh yeah, for you, but I mean also for everything else. A new septic system is going to be more compliant than an old septic system. And it actually will help to have two septic systems so one doesn't get loaded. I think the only thing we've got is front setback, but I agree. I think it's a better move for the town.
I agree with what both of you said. I mean, you are getting further away from the side setback and further away from the water with the future leach field. So I think that's better for the lake. I think that's better for the neighbors. And it does bring us to just the road setback, from what I see. I mean, it's a variance on both sideline and road, but it's
I guess my only thing I look at is if it was, I know we're becoming further away from the water, which is great, which is what you want. Could it be slid back down a little bit to make it less intrusive on that front yard setback? Would be my question. Or is the topography of the lot not going to allow that?
Now you're referring to the cottage moving back?
No, I'm talking the garage itself. Right now, you want it 40 feet from the road. What if it was 50 feet instead of 40? What if you moved it?
I think the more
Didn't
we
come
can-
back that
the
extra.
more closer to the road we can get,
That's the issue.
the better.
The topography, like you was just mentioned, the angle. We
I guess I didn't get in, or neither one of us got into the future plans for this property. And this is phase one that will kind
Yeah,
of
but
be the
we're not going to
prelude.
go there because we've already closed the public hearing. We
Okay.
don't need to discuss that. My question is if we can,
Mr. Chair, I have been on site, and they could easily move the garage further from the front property line, and that's a good point. They could still stay beyond the 75-foot mark and still increase the distance from the road. I can't tell you how much, but I'm thinking they could gain 10 or 15 feet and still stay beyond the 75-foot mark.
Still meet the setback in the front?
Yeah, yeah, and the
And still
topography
gain some
doesn't
space.
change from where the proposed garage is now to where another 15 feet would put it. It doesn't change hardly at all, at least not drastically enough to make him leave it in that spot.
Yep.
If you do, but you cannot get it down to 75 feet from the front. Because,
Correct.
I mean, it's basically, it's right back where it is.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess my question is, for it, it's all less than, it's all less than what the setback is.
Which
Is
is
it-
75 feet.
Right,
You're
so-
saying they can't meet the 75 feet, or they?
They'd be right where they are right now.
They could. Yeah,
But then, I mean, the whole idea is to get the new septic in.
right.
So and the soil scientist said the existing garage is the site.
It is the proposed site for the new septic.
Right.
So if we go, 40, 50, 60, is it?
Yeah, I know where both of you are coming from. You're not really gaining, you're trying to gain a little bit further distance.
From the road, because we're required to do that.
Right.
We are required by law to make it less intrusive, and whatever can be done to do that. It's not that we're trying to pick on you, but there's rules, there's laws, and if it was to be challenged or contested, we need to have standing with that in place that,
And my answer to that is, the more we make it compliant to the front, the worse compliant we make it to the lake.
not,
You know what I mean? I'm just,
not really, because we're still meeting 100-foot setback no matter what. So that's the shoreline, that's why DEP's not involved in it, so you're still meeting that, so.
What is the
You
board
want to
interested?
make the whole situation better, but we still have to look, is there a reasonable place that it can go and compromise possibly somewhere? That's all we're looking to do, because we're required to do that. And so,
What's the average size, Glenn, of a septic system? You know,
Probably 24 by 50, 60.
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Use a
You-
Presby system,
you
you're
can
down to
do
like
it- how
15
many-
feet square.
Well,
How many bedrooms?
that's
does
not,
it
that
have?
wouldn't be an average size.
We
No.
only have the 2 bedrooms existing.
20 by 40 would be big
Yeah.
enough in there.
Yep.
Depending on what type of system you can go in, you can even shrink that down.
Yeah, you do a
Right.
Presby system, you could be half that
Yep.
size.
But he asked for the average size.
Yeah.
I asked for the average size.
But you figure an average 20 by 40 for,
Yep,
would be sufficient for a
20 by
two-bedroom.
40, if they were gonna go here, then it's gonna come, because that's only probably 16 feet wide based on the appearance. So 20 by 40, that's gonna bring them all the way up to the 75-foot setback. With the leach
Depending on the
field.
topography though, they may spin it.
Then what if they turn that way? They could turn it that way.
Then it's under the road, you can't
That's
have it
no
under
big
the
deal.
road.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine.
Goes a long time on the driveways.
Hannaford's under the parking lot.
Hmm?
Hannaford's is under the parking
Yeah.
lot.
Have to do it all the time now.
But there are systems out there that are,
Right. I'm just looking at how we can make this less intrusive and
I
find
get
a
you.
way to help you out and get what you want.
yeah. Don't forget your 15% rule. Just throwing it out there.
I know.
so that's 10 feet.
Wow. That was subjective, the way that was
It was
worded.
very
It
subjective.
is, and it's a
Try.
recommendation.
Recommend-
It's a
It's
recommendation.
recommendation.
I just wanted to remind the board that it's there.
Yeah, I mean, we understand. Thank
Okay.
you for bringing that to our attention.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. Glenn, did you say 10% or 15?
15.
15, okay, thank you.
Which brings us down to 63.9.
Roger has a question.
Right. This, he's taking a look at something and we'll go around here. I'm sure everybody's,
Yeah, if that's 40, to there. Got maybe 15 feet to get that corner down. That's I'm not sure. Without having topos on here, it's hard to tell. I'm good.
Okay, any other questions or comments, discussion?
I guess I'm not sure where we go from here. I mean, are we looking at trying to say they need to move it back, or?
I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to make your motions the way you want. I've asked that question, and we have evidence from the code enforcement officer that indicates it can be moved back. Some, and it's not that we're trying to, but we have standards we have to try and make it as least non-conforming as possible.
We have to go through these steps, right?
Yeah. Okay. Any questions you may have before we go into discussion and voting on the hardship variance criteria? Okay. At this time, we're going to discuss the criterias and decide if evidence has been given to support or not support the motion. A variance for undue hardship, except as provided in section 10.04.2, a variance shall be granted by the board only where strict application of this ordinance or local subdivision regulations to the applicant's property would cause undue hardship as defined by the state law, 30-A MRSA 4353-4, amended 5/13/2016. Item number 1, need a motion and a second that the land cannot yield a reasonable return unless a variance is granted.
And here lies the issue. Based off of our recent legal course, there has a reasonable return because there's already a property on, you already have a structure on the building. So there's the state requirement for reasonable return is met. This is my hardship. If I'm following the rules, reasonable return has been met. So I would not be able to
But
motion.
you're asking to replace and relocate, they're not increasing.
I know, but
So they're not,
this is my issue.
With the substandard current garage and bringing it up to current codes and relocating it. It's not, there's no gain there for them as far as reasonable return. So they're not increasing their reasonable return. They're not reducing their reasonable return.
They're actually not changing their reasonable
They're
return.
not changing the reasonable return.
Okay.
my thought, and the ability to put a new leach field in. If they can't do that and get an independent leach field, they have an opportunity not to yield a permanent resolution to their waste system. Could be possibly a reason for not gaining a reasonable return.
I'll make a motion that the land in question cannot yield a reasonable return unless the variance is granted.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion's been made, seconded. All those in favor that he's met criteria 1? Okay. All right. Question number 2. A variance is due to the unique circumstances of the property and not the general condition of the neighborhood. How's the board?
I'll make a motion that the need for the variance is due to the unique circumstances of the property and not to the general condition of the neighborhood.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion's been made, seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Meeting criteria? You agree? Okay, number 3. The granting of a variance will not alter the essential character of the locality. How does the board feel?
I'll make the motion that the granting of the variance does not alter the essential character of the locality.
I agree. Second.
Okay. Any motion's been made and second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Number 4, the hardship is not the fault of action taken by the appellant or prior owner.
I'll make a motion that the hardship is not the fault of the action taken by the applicant or prior owner. It's the land itself.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, second, that agrees that it's not the fault of action by the applicant or prior owner. All those in favor? All right. Okay. Now, if the undue hardship is approved, then we have to go to another variance standard below. So at this time, we would need to make a motion to accept the hardship variance because we met the 4 criteria.
You wouldn't necessarily need that motion because number 1, by meeting all 4 of these, you automatically meet the hardship. You have to have all 4 yeses to
Right.
meet the hardship, so you've already made
So we don't
your
need to
motion.
do a motion for that? Okay.
You just
very
need to
good.
go to the other
Yep.
alternate
Okay.
ones.
All right. So additional variance standards. Before a variance may be issued, the board must determine, in addition to its findings of undue hardship or practical difficulty, that the granting of the variance would not negatively impact the best interests of the community.
I agree with that. I think it's improving the community. I think, even though the septic is minimal, it's actually moving further away from the neighbor's well. It's making it a better, safer area. I agree to it.
Okay?
I agree with that also, and you're moving the structure further from the side property line, further from the neighbor.
Okay. And we don't need motions on those. We just have to agree or disagree, correct?
I believe so, correct.
Okay.
That should be fine.
Yep. All those that agree with statement 1? 3. Number 2, undue hardship shall not be construed to include self-imposed hardships and inability to realize as great an economic gain as you would be possible if the variance were granted, or a hardship that is not unique to the applicant's land.
Yeah, or a hardship that is not unique to the applicant's land.
It's
Shall not be
it's the same thing as
constructed
what's
to,
already in the first item.
does not include,
Right.
so it's a double negative.
Yeah.
Exactly, but it's there, that's what the state's stuff says, so you gotta answer the question.
Do we
So-
not vote no?
Shall not be construed.
No, we could agree that it is not imposed. We want to agree to that.
Correct.
Right.
It's not
It's
construed
not
to include.
imposed by
Shall not
an
be.
affliction of
Okay.
the owner or the prior owner.
We've got 2 nots in the same sentence.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I wish I had better grammar.
how
But
it
comes
is.
from the state.
No, but it's the way the wording is, and it is what it is, and we,
I'm gonna. I think I want to say agree to it.
By agreeing, you're stating that you agree the undue hardship is not construed to include any of those options that are listed under it.
But
In
then it
other
says a
words-
hardship that is not unique to the applicant's land.
Well, it's technically not unique to just his. He's got somebody beside him that's also on that same slope and
Right.
somebody else on the other side. and-
Okay.
yeah. I know what you're saying, but
All right.
it's.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
it's,
agree.
This sentence, I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
all right.
We are working on a new thing.
Yeah. Variance, if granted, should necessitate only a slight departure from the stated requirements of the ordinance. Usually not to exceed 15% increase or decrease from the stated requirements.
So if you did
What's
this,
the board feel?
if you did the 15%, that brings us down to 63.9. There's no scale with it here.
63.9?
Well, that's what 15% of 75
I have a
is.
scale curve.
I need two of me at these meetings.
That's 60.
Glenn's gonna get you a scale.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it.
And I can't honestly say the big copy is to scale, that's why I
Okay.
included the small copy with it.
All right, thanks.
It's on the 8.5 by 11 also.
Okay. Oh, it's engineering, sorry. That's okay.
Here's the school, or what?
Let's assume that there. 50, 20. Yeah, that's, he did 30, so it's not a scale on that either.
Oh, yeah, and that's what happens when he shrinks this stuff. It's hard to tell what the scale is.
Okay.
All right. So, how does the board feel? Granted, need to minimize the departure from usually not to exceed 15, but it can if it needs to.
Hey, here's my issue. It's 63.9. The building still doesn't meet. You know what I mean? We're almost back down to where it was. So, I think 15% is not enough. Yeah. Although I agree that somewhere between 63.9 and 40 is a right answer.
Average your two numbers.
So 11 and a half, 51 feet.
Make it around.
Well, we're agreeing that we should necessitate only a slight departure from where it's gonna be, and it can be, it's usually recommended 15%, but we can increase from 15%. So we're still agreeing with that statement,
Right.
that we're gonna do everything that we can to minimize and
It's an
mitigate
agree or
that.
disagree.
We are agreeing with that statement.
So it's 3-0?
I
Okay.
agree.
How's the board feel?
So, yeah.
Yep.
Agree.
Okay. Right. Correct. A variance, if granted, must not subvert the intent of the town's comprehensive plan. This ordinance or local subdivision regulations as manifested in the language of the plan or the particular provisions from which the variance is sought.
Agreed.
Agree.
Right? All three agree. Number 5, a variance if granted must not have a harmful effect on the use of the nearby land and structures insofar as the land is being used in conformity with state and local land use ordinances and regulations. The board in granting a variance may attach appropriate conditions which will avoid harm to adjacent property owners and the public.
And at this time, we should add in the condition that it's for storage only, not to be habitable. A bathroom is permitted.
We'll make that part of the motion.
Can you
This
repeat
is-
that, please, Brett?
We'll have a condition that the new building will be for storage only, non-habitable, but a bathroom will be permitted.
We gotta do that through a motion.
As the motion.
Yep. And I would like to add another condition, that the applicant have a surveyor to confirm that the foundation is where the plan shows it to be before the structure is built on it.
I agree to that condition.
Wait a minute now.
Oh,
For the-
that's a condition, we're not even.
The
doing
new
motions.
garage, you want a surveyor
To confirm
to
that,
confirm the location that we give them permission to put it in.
you got it.
Perfect. You got it.
I normally have a surveyor set my pins
Yep.
to make sure I comply with
We're gonna
the,
make it to
Where did
It's typical now anyway.
It is.
Pretty much standard for any projects in Waterboro.
We're the drip edge, not the foundation, right?
We're at the foundation.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so, board on item 5?
Agree.
All agree? Okay.
You're agreeing with the with the two conditions also?
Yeah, they'll be rolled into the motion,
Yeah.
but yes, we discussed them.
Okay, so I'll,
Right.
yep,
You have that, Tammy?
yep,
You good?
with the conditions.
Okay, so at this time, we need to have a motion and a second to
Oh, I forgot to change the map law.
approve undue hardship. All the conditions for the undue hardship have been met. And you have the variance undue, and that the additional variance standard have also been met. With the following conditions as requested by the Code Enforcement Office as part of our motion for approval of a variance, that, and I'll let Kurt reread exactly what,
The building is for storage only, it's to be non-habitable. A bathroom will be allowed. And then the second condition is that the new location for the new garage is surveyed to comply with this variance.
You got it.
Tammy, did you say the lot and map numbers were incorrect? Because they're not matching.
Correct. I forgot to change them from the last form. It should have been, it should have been map 29, lot 27, and I forgot to change
that
it.
what number?
29.
And where?
In 27, yeah.
Just want to make sure we get that.
And what's the lot number?
Lot
27?
27.
All right. That's my motion. Excuse me.
Just so it's clear in your minutes that the map lot number has been corrected to map 29, lot 27.
Yep.
On your form.
Known that there was a discrepancy in the paperwork, and that it is, the variance is granted, is for map 29, lot 27.
Yeah, the minutes will reflect
Now.
the correct.
The other condition in there, because you've made some conditions that you want, is that I think that we need to find a way to compromise a little bit here. And my recommendation is instead of a 40-foot reduction to 40-foot, and it could be as low as, you know, the standard, if we went 15%, we'd get them down to what, 63 feet or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. 61, yeah, 61.
My recommendation is 50 feet. That's 10 feet back from where you were, and that's a compromise.
And Glenn, you said that that site, it's not going to make it another hardship to go?
It would not.
Okay. I agree with that.
That's subjective.
Condition that,
With a 50-foot front setback.
that's what I'm recommending, but this means it's gonna go through. The motion hasn't been seconded, so. And we still are at the point we can have discussion about that, because it is gonna be a condition of the
Right.
standard that
Yeah, I
we
agree,
have to
Bob.
adhere to.
No?
No,
No?
no, all done. Unfortunately, that part of the
Oh,
meeting
he's
is
asking.
closed, and
So at 50 feet, that basically moves the back corner back almost to the 75-foot line. I don't think that interferes with the septic system that goes in there. There are septic systems that can be made smaller than the average. Our requirement by the state is to make it more compliant.
Did we have a second on that
No.
motion?
No.
Not yet? Okay.
I guess we shouldn't have discussion then. We shouldn't have discussion then.
Do we have to second it to have the discussion?
No?
If you don't have a second, the motion gets defeated.
Yeah, it dies.
So somebody else can make another motion.
Oh, wait,
Hmm?
you made the motion.
Mhm.
I thought I seconded it.
Well, that's
No,
why.
you haven't seconded it
Not
yet.
his, not this condition with the 50-foot front setback has not been seconded.
I will second the 50, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You guys probably better repeat what you've said. I don't know if Tammy,
No, I got it.
okay, please ask Tammy to repeat what she thinks she heard.
Repeat the motion that was made so we have clarification for everybody
Yep.
involved.
Sean Shoemaker made the motion to condition the hardship variance with a 50-foot front setback. Kurt Clausen seconded the motion.
Thank you, Tammy.
Was I, is it okay?
That includes the other conditions that were in there that, When
The other two
requested.
conditions go with number 5,
okay.
and I do have that all in there for you.
Can you show it on the, to clarify it for me, can you show it on the map?
Sure. You're gonna move your front yard setback from 40 feet to 50.
Okay.
Slide that garage 10 feet back. I mean, we've gotta be as least intrusive as we can, and
Roger, just scaling off of this thing. Actually, the line basically starts about the 0 and just parallels that front line. That's 10 feet, so it moves the back. It looks like the back ends up about an
I
eighth
can't
of,
see that far.
it ends up about an eighth of an inch from the 75 line.
yeah, you're gonna move back 10 feet.
So it just,
I understand.
I mean, this is just scale. This is just scaling, just taking that, from here to here is 40. A quarter of that is to here, which moves the back to here. So that if that's the front, the new locations are just like that. Still, still along the sideline, just 10 feet back. Just something like, it comes like right through. It's just below the 0 on the, yeah. Something like that.
That will be nothing for Steve to take and move.
I should probably put that in with the motion too, that the side setbacks have to be maintained at least 10 feet, because that's changed
Yep.
from the existing conditions.
Did it work?
So he needs to maintain a 10-foot sideline setback.
Yep.
Is that a separate motion? Or a separate condition?
Well,
Well, that was one of the.
I can make that
denials.
part of the
You can.
original.
Okay.
yes, you can.
Let's just make it part of the 50-foot setback.
Yep,
So what I just said is, my new motion is you're gonna be 50 feet from the front yard setback, and you have to maintain a 10-foot setback from the side.
Yep, perfect.
And the surveyor will verify your locations prior to pouring, and confirmation with the code enforcement that those requirements have been met. And it's a prudent thing to do anyway, because then you don't have to rip it out if it's off just a little bit.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I'll have Steve redo it and show it on the copy before I present the building.
Yeah, you'll get a report and tell us your work. Okay,
can I get a vote?
so, we've had discussions, or we've had motion, we have a second, discussion, no further. At this time, I would like to vote on the granting of the variance request, as per the motion that's been made.
I agree.
Those in favor? 3-0. Oh, nice.
Don't forget to read.
Now, last thing, we've accepted it, so now the last thing I have to read is we have to advise the applicant and anybody else that may have standing in this, that if they are unhappy with the decision, he or they may request reconsideration by the board within 10 days of the date of decision. Parties aggrieved by this decision may appeal it to Superior Court within 45 days of the date of decision pursuant to 30-A MRSA 2691 and 4353 in the main rules of civil procedure, Rule 80-B.
One more thing, Mr. Chair. I want the applicant to know that he's responsible to record the variance, and the variance becomes void and null if no permit is pulled within a year.
Yep.
Those will be on the findings of fact so that they know
Yep.
that.
And if
I
you
make
need to
sure-
record this variance, once it's granted, you receive the information, Tammy will give you everything you need, you gotta record this at the registry of deeds. You want it recorded with your deed, because it stays with that property for life now versus you guys changed, you know. You want it recorded, it has to be recorded.
How much time, Sean? 30 days?
I think it's less than 30 days.
Record it?
To record it. I'd have to look, I can't pull that out of my head right now, but I know it's less than 30 days.
I'll give you a call.
As soon as you get it, run down the courthouse, and
Right.
boom, you just give it to them, they stamp it, you're gonna
Yeah.
have it recorded and you're done. And should you not acquire permits and start substantial construction within 1 year from this date, that variance will be null and void. You don't have to
Exactly.
start over again,
Yep, exactly.
okay? All right,
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. I'd like to also recommend that when they take in, record the findings of facts, conclusions of law, that they include the survey that Steve's gonna do for you to note all of those side setbacks and front setback on it. That way, should you have to get a mortgage to do anything, it's all right there in front of the appraiser that comes in, and it will not cause you any hardship when you do go to do any additional financing if you need it.
okay. Excellent. I think that's it. Unless anybody has anything else.
I just have, remind you all that you have a meeting next Thursday.
Yes.
I will mail you the January 4th packet, probably next week. I'm trying to find my desk with all the other things going on, so
Yeah.
those will go out next week for you. So you'll have the one for January 4th also. The snow date for January 4th is January 11th. So you've got, yeah, it's not a
We
slow
haven't
time,
had
guys.
anything in so long, and all of a sudden it's ding, ding, ding. But there's been things that have been changed, and we're dealing with it now. I hope we helped you out the best we could.
Thanks for the help.
Yeah, like I said,
We
we
need a
gotta
motion.
work with compromises sometimes just to meet the standards, so.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, we're gonna make that, I just wanna see if we had anything else we needed to discuss.
I'm all set.
Anything you all set? Glenn, you all set? with
I'm
that?
all set.
Okay, great. I take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor? I want to stay a little more.